You don't know who wrote the Quran.
I do.
I just said you don't.
I do.
Because you,
I
you
do.
don't. You don't. You don't know
Shall
who
I
wrote
answer?
the Quran.
Shall I answer?
You don't know who wrote the Quran.
Shall I answer you? We have multiple eyewitnesses in the Quran. Here in the Quran from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, writing down the Quran from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, discussing the Quran with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Quran being explained by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Quran being practiced by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions. We have all of this with chains of narrations to eyewitnesses. His companions, Umar radiallahu anhu, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, Zayd bin Thabit, all of them were eyewitnesses to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they came together in the first year after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam died, and they gathered the Quran between two copies. They appointed Zayd bin Thabit. Zayd bin Thabit, why did they appoint him? They said, because you're a young, intelligent man. You were a scribe of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam received revelation from the companions, he called was Zayd bin Thabit. Zayd bin Thabit came and wrote down the Quran. And also, you have not been accused of being lying or being untrustworthy. So Zayd bin Thabit, for every verse in Quran, he'd already memorized Quran. He went and he found two witnesses who had written down the Quran from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or had heard the Quran directly from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this was gathered in the first year of the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we have eyewitness accounts for this event. We have chains for this event. And then we have this, Abu Bakr when he passed away, he gave it to Umar radiallahu anhu. When Umar radiallahu anhu passed away, he gave it to his daughter Hafsa. When the third Muslim Khalifa, Uthman, decided to make an official manuscript, he took the copy which Hafsa had, and he took Zayd bin Thabit, and they set up a council, and they made official manuscripts of the Quran, and these official manuscripts were copied multiple times and sent out to all the major districts. And when they were sent out with people who had memorized Quran. So for us, I will say it in a nutshell. The Quran was revealed in the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was memorized in the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was written down by scribes in the lifetime of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was practiced and taught in the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this has continued until today. We have hundreds of thousands of people who have memorized the Quran. So when I make a mistake in the Quran, a person listening, they can correct me. Yes, this person, known as a Hafiz, who memorized Quran, he has to have read to a teacher. And his teacher, who memorized Quran, has to have read to a teacher. And we have the chains going back to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam of the Quran, of the memorization of Quran. Therefore, we have the Quran preserved in manuscript, and we have the Quran preserved by hearts. Also, the Quran in the month of Ramadan, in all masjids, or the vast majority of masjids, the whole Quran is recited from beginning to end, from memory. So from the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam until today, the Quran has been constantly recited openly. So even if a person makes a mistake, he's corrected like that.
Okay.
So that's why our book is reliable and an authority, and yours is not.
You don't know who wrote the Quran.
I do.
At the beginning here, right? It is interesting that many Christians come and straight away, without knowing you, without having interacted with you before, knowing by default that they know about the Quran more than you, simply because you are Muslim. They have something like the idea that Muslims don't know nothing about the Quran. You know, I'm not sure whether that idea, right? But I have a hunch, because certain Christian, I don't know, influencer, etc., have that the type of language that embed the idea into Christian to believe so, to really believe that whenever you meet a Muslim, they know nothing about the Quran, etc., right? It is different if you interact with someone and they actually show that you do not know anything. Then you say that you are ignorant because you clearly do not know anything. That's different. Regardless of the religion of the person, you can say that person is ignorant about specific topic, right? But it is interesting that there are Christians, including in my channel like this, that they are so confident that they know more because they are Christian and you are Muslim about Muslim text. That's just, I'm not sure that is that just a phenomenon of today, because of the age of internet, and they watch certain influencer that portray certain things. Anyway, so yeah, the video sums the whole point about the Quran, why we believe in it, quite nicely. In terms of its reliability, I'm talking about in terms of its reliability. right? From now until back in the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm not talking about, because some Christian actually says, but even if it's reliable, doesn't mean it's from God, which is true. There's two different separate points, right? But at least in terms of its reliability, which you cannot do the same with the Bible from now until back to the source, right? So with that, if you're not yet a Muslim, really think hard whether you should become Muslim today. Thank you for watching. See you next time.